Hey everybody, it's Matthew. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do something a little bit different here. I stumbled across this article here from The Pit, who does some good stuff typically. I do see a few of their articles every now and then, and they're usually pretty good reads, pretty interesting tidbits. And I stumbled across this today on Google, and it's talking about it. Someone made an AI generated Layne Staley vocal for the Alice in Chains song Rainier Fog, and they said that gives you, it's chill inducing. We're going to see about that though here. I've talked a little bit about AI generated voices of, dead singers, and I'm kind of not into it, as I've expressed before. And there's a couple of reasons I'm not into this in particular, but we'll get into those later. After we listen to this a little bit. So, I mean, it's someone that's saying it's an AI cover. They're making it of a song that already exists and just replacing. So it's not as bad as it could have been. And they ask, have you ever been curious what it would sound like for Layne Staley to sing Alice in Chains with their current modern sound? You may have. I have wondered that occasionally, but, that's not what we have. Obviously, this is a William Duvall track written and sung by him. So it's a much different thing. I'd say it's eerie and fascinating, which it is, assuming the model is good. If the AI model is not very good, this may be kind of a stinker. But we're going to see what this is here. They said that they've shared a remix of an AI-generated Chester Bennington performing Slipknot's song Wait and Bleed before. That is an artist, that is AI-generated voice, though, performing a different song, a cover. So that's a little bit different. But, I mean, let's just get into this, see how good it might be. Oh, I need to have turned up so I can hear it. Let me turn it down on there. It's not terrible. That messed up a word there. You never know, a long time ago, you've been Friday, thinking it over. No, that's Abyss. It's written down, and somehow, it reminds me why I even care. I mean, so far, it's not terrible. I mean, I've heard worse AI models. It did mess up a couple words. I feel like there's not enough of his fry in his voice there, because normally on low vocals he will do that some, and I think he would be a little bit more intense here if he was actually doing it. It sounds close to him. It's not quite there. I mean, it sounds like his voice, but it just doesn't sound like the way he would do this. But we can keep going through more of it here. You're thinking that, no, it's weird. I forget where all the sections are. They just changed it. It's a different harmony than the actual song. Why? That reminds me was close. This is the part I wanted. After this, I may just quit or skip to the end and see if they put in some ad-libs or something. Oh, I missed the bridge. If there's a section like this, Layne would probably really send it here. I mean, just my main thing with this is it's like, they say it's eerie and fascinating. I'm like, it's not, because it's not close enough for me to particularly feel that way, because again, it's just missing a lot of the intensity that Layne's voice typically has. I'm not getting any of those low, where he takes a low note that he's going out of and he really opens that and then does his sound and things like that. The way he does low notes is completely missing from this, which is kind of annoying and was a really big part of his character. There's sections that should have more fry on his vocals that don't, and I don't know what they actually fed the modeler. The problem is, if you feed it a lot of the album tracks, some of the ways his vocals are mixed on there are kind of different from how he actually sounds, or they're too airy, and then the modeler is going to pick up on that and make the vocals sound the same way, even though it's not getting a raw vocal that way. You'd probably be better off trying to find live footage and feeding it that audio instead, because that would give you something closer to what you would be looking for. Because if you're feeding it the album audio, it's taking all the effect and everything and interpreting that in a weird way. Like, if that was real, he would have really sent that yell pretty hard, and it doesn't here. I'm gonna look and see if there's some ad-libs at the end or something. Okay, yeah, that's the same there. I mean, it's interesting, to say the least. By the way, this is good video here if you want to watch that. But, you know, I mean, it's interesting a little bit. It gets kind of his tone, you know. It sounds like him. It's got the, in spots, it does have the right kind of fry sound on his voice. But most of this is not what I would say is really generated Layne Staley, because I've heard better models on other voices than this. I've also heard worse ones, but I mean, it's missing a lot of the character of his voice. Like I said, the low notes and stuff, the way he does that is gone. The way he manipulates his vowels is not very present here. There are parts where he would probably go a lot heavier and more intense on distortion and things like that on his voice, and it's missing a lot of that, which again, I said is probably because if he fed it a bunch of album vocals, he's not going to get the same character out of the AI generated voice, because again, it's going to interpret everything that's going on with the voice there into this, instead of getting it like a raw vocal and reinterpreting that. The other reason I kind of don't like it is because I feel like it undervalues William Duvall a little bit, which I think a lot of old AIC fans have done anyway. And this just adds to that, because everyone's going to be like, oh, this is what it sounded like if Layne would do it. I wish he could. And it's like, what about Will, man? He's written a bunch of songs for modern AIC. He's got his own unique thing that I like, and I would say there's several Alice in Chains modern ones that would just not be the same without him, if he wasn't the one doing them, you know? Like, you wouldn't get stuff like Phantom Limb, which is really good. You wouldn't have Hollow. You wouldn't have this song in particular. You wouldn't have Acid Bubble, that's on Black Gives Way to Blue. I can't name all of them off the top of my head that William is on, but he's good. Also Stone, because that's one of the more popular modern Alice in Chains ones. He does harmonies on that, but they sound really good on there. And it's like, you know, I feel like we're not appreciating him as well as we could. And I've always felt that way with Will, because I do really like his voice and the things that he has done to Alice in Chains. Obviously, Rainier Fog would not exist if Layne was still around. You think about that, a lot of William Duvall's songs wouldn't exist. They would be replaced with something else. So we don't really know for sure what a modern Alice in Chains would sound like. We get an idea with the ones that Jerry has been the primary writer on, of course, and written lyrics to and sang on, but ones that William has mainly done, we don't know for sure what would exactly happen. I mean, this is a cool attempt at that. You know, if they did something with like Stone, maybe that would be more interesting and convincing. So it's like pick one where Layne's not the lead on it, so you can get, or where William's not the lead, so you can get a better idea of what maybe this would sound like. I mean, it's a good attempt though. And there are points where it's a pretty good AI model. There are points where it's not great either. But, you know, I thought this would be a fun video to check this thing out because I saw this article, thought it would be interesting to react to. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you did, of course. Don't forget to leave a comment down below what you think about this AI generated video, or what you think about AI generated vocals in general. Anyway, don't forget to click the bell, of course, to get a notification when a new video is out. And I will see you guys next time in another video. Have a good one.